Hi, everybody, and welcome back to another installment of the EBA seminar series on science communications. I'm joined today by Aarthi Muthukumar. Aarthi is a fourth-year undergraduate student here at UC Berkeley, majoring in anthropology, molecular and cellular biology, and interdisciplinary studies. She is also the editor-in-chief of the Berkeley Scientific Journal, which is the premier undergraduate science journal here at UC Berkeley. Hi, Aarthi. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you, Logan?
I'm great. Thank you for being here. Okay, so we're going to jump in with our first question, which is, what were your inspirations for coming into science communications in your time here as an undergrad?
So I started out as an anthropology major with a very small interest in science. And, once I started taking lab classes and stuff, I realized that most of the science here at Berkeley in the major and in classes are pure science, right? They teach you like organic chemistry, they teach you math, they teach you physics. They don't really tell you how to talk about science with people who aren't in science, which is more than half the job. If you think like no matter what you do with a science degree in the future, you're going to have to talk about what you do. So that started it. So I came into Berkeley wanting to join the Berkeley Scientific Journal, but that solidified it. Just talking about science and making it so that you don't sound unapproachable is what really got me started, I think.
Perfect. So going into the Berkeley Scientific Journal, the Berkeley Scientific Journal, also called BSJ, offers students a lot of experience in science journalism. But what does science journalism mean to you, and what does BSJ do in order to perpetuate those practices?
Absolutely. BSJ, I think, is one of many organizations across the country. We're actually part of a larger consortium of science journals, undergrad science journals. And our main goal is to get science out into the community, get people interested in science, and really break down barriers for entry into science. A lot of people that often join BSJ a lot of them are science majors with a passion for writing. A lot of other people are joining because they've never really been told that they can do science or that they see someone like themselves in the field. So I think, of course, with journalism, it's about writing, it's about actually getting science out there. But I think the underlying thing is getting more people that are more diverse, people who don't think that they can, but they absolutely can do science. And then giving them that space on campus to really chase what they're interested in when it comes to science, is I think the underlying current, not only at BSJ, but across the country with all of our consortium and our related journals.
So given that you all that you know from your studies and your extracurriculars, what are the dangers of science journalism, especially nowadays with the rise of the internet, rise of artificial intelligence? What are your thoughts on it in the current day?
Yeah, I think my go-to example is when you go to ChatGPT and you ask it a question and it gives you the wrong answer, and you know it's the wrong answer because you know the right answer. So of course there's that big issue where we just don't know what is right and what is wrong if we aren't very knowledgeable in that field, if we don't have like a PhD and we're just looking for answers. But I think it becomes even bigger of a problem when let's say you go to ChatGPT and it's trained on a corpus of language, a corpus of different scientific topics. I fear that when you ask it questions, you're going to be only sourcing from that corpus of knowledge, and there's no maybe like unique ideas, because science is just serendipity plus a little bit of luck plus asking the right questions. And if you're asking the same corpus of stories or corpus of knowledge the same questions, you're not going to get unique answers. So I think there's that issue in science journalism and in science in general, where you have to kind of think for yourself, and that may be dwindling just a little bit. Maybe I'll change my mind when I go out into the field. Maybe it is different. But of course, with also just journalism these days, there is that the idea of fake news versus, real news, more credible news. And I think science journalism at BSJ, and Berkeley, I think at large, really gives you the critical thinking skills to figure out what to trust, what is credible, and how to source those things and how to look at both sides of any story.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, so this next question is a little bit of a fun question. There's a book by Tim Lewins called The Meaning of Science that I understand you have read. The book discusses the philosophical implications of science and how it's structured. So, to you, what is the meaning of science?
This is a big one. Hmm. I've been thinking about this since I stepped foot on campus, right? Since I've decided to be in a science career. And I think at the fundamental basis of it all is just curiosity. The meaning of science is to be curious. It is to push the frontiers of what we already know in a way that hopefully is ethical and positive, of course, but underlying it all, it's just being in wonder with the world, like looking at it and seeing all these different things we don't know, and maybe taking it as a personal challenge to figure out those things and in whatever field inspires you. So I think that's what it is to me.
Very well put. All right. Okay, so getting aiming towards these high school students that might be watching this, what opportunities would you recommend to high school students or undergraduates who are interested in exploring science communications, whether they're in college or looking to enter college soon?
Yes, so I would say, no matter where you go, find your undergraduate science journal. I feel like every campus has one, and if it doesn't have one, start one. And I'm sure there's always a community of people on every campus, everywhere who will be interested. So science journalism and starting that kind of journal. I think also just regular old, in quotes, journalism. Work for your local newspaper. There's always science beats, research and ideas beats that most newspapers have. Your student newspaper may have one. If not, pitch it. I'm sure, like, if you go to someone and you pitch it and you're really passionate about it, they're going to want you to write about it because you're going to be the best person to write about it. And of course, I suppose, just read a lot, know, and try and figure out what you like, what you don't like, and what is credible and what is not credible, and where to go for the good stuff and where you kind of want to stay away from when it comes to the bad stuff. And just talk to your professors about that and your friends and anyone that you trust, I hope. Yeah.
Okay, great. And then we have our last question, which is why should people, regardless if they're trying to enter science communication fields, why should they care about effective science communication?
I feel like whether you like it or not, you're a part of this world. And if you're a part of this world, you're a part of the science world. Everything you are, from your health, from the world that you live in, to the streets you walk down, to the colleges or the universities that you attend, or the education that you receive, it's all science. It's all based in science. Um, because science fundamentally just explains everything around us. If you're alive, it pertains to you and it will affect you. And it's important, I feel, to keep that in mind because a lot of people think, oh, not really interested in science. I'm not really going to care about it. But unfortunately, the people who do care about it are going to be the ones who are shaping your world that you're going to have to live in. So if you care about it, then you can have a say in the world you live in, which is, I think, a pretty good deal. So yeah, I would say that's why you should care about it because it will affect you.
All right, perfect. Well put. Definitely outlines the stakes of why anyone should care about this matter. But okay, so that does it for all of our questions. Thank you so much for joining us. Myself and everyone at the EBI wish you the best of luck on all your future endeavors. And we thank you so much for elucidating science communications for us.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Thank you for checking out the EBI seminar series on science communication. If you've enjoyed this video, please feel free to like and subscribe to our channel for more content on how science is communicated. Be sure to follow along for future installments or check out our previous series and explore our social media, which are all linked in the description below. Thanks for watching and see you next time.